is just spectacular. The whole endgame has been a mind-blowing play with so many intricate ideas and possibility. And let's just go back to the live position, because the geometry that you're pointing out about the knight and pawn really holding on. And this line with a4, king d4, a3, king c3, king comes to b3. This position is so amazing, Robert, because like you pointed out, if black's king goes over to the king's side, comes to the f5 square, white advances the pawn. If black king comes to b7 trying to get to c6, that isn't good enough either, because the moment you put your king on b7, white will again push the pawn from e6 to e7, and there's no possibility of allowing white to do that. And we see a move by Levon, but I look at Lev and I feel that he knows that this is ending in a draw now. And I think he just offered a draw. He just offered a draw, handshakes, Levon realizing that the moment is past him. And what a game, what an end game play by both these players. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, and when you see something pop up and you blunder, inaccuracy, it doesn't tell the full story. It wasn't inaccuracy in one move. It's down the line. And some of these variations that we just looked at are like 20 moves deep, with the black king running, scrambling up towards this pawn in g2, but not quickly enough. So look at Levon. He does seem quite disappointed. I feel like he knows he had chances there, and he probably felt like on a different day he might have won this game, but he also was facing such a sturdy opponent. Arjun, to this point, he had black in game one against Pragnanda. He held the draw with great preparation, and then he finished it off nicely against Wesley. So he looked like he was in trouble when Wesley had a pass pawn. He managed to hold each and every move. Now with the white pieces, his first time with the first move advantage, he was worse throughout this entire game. But when it came down to it, Tanya, he held.
And look at that, Robert, they're analyzing the exact same position that was winning for black. King to g6 was the move that we were wondering if Levon can find it, because it's such a hard move to make. If we will show that to our viewers, but this is the position, and Levon now Arjun realizes that this would have been a zugzwang for white with no way to improve. And this just shows how aware they were of all these subtleties. King g6, we see that on their analysis board. This is amazing stuff. This is the moment that really makes chess what it is. A move that I really thought is impossible for people to find. We've got the eval bar telling us. But look at this. It's in their analysis.
I'm watching them go, and they were looking at a line like this with the king going to g5, but knight d7, the bishop slides up to e7. That's not good enough. So I see what they're looking at here with the king blocking this bishop, with the bishop on f8 and the king running back to e7. So, yeah, it's cool to see this. I'm glad we have this on camera right now, because I'm just going to follow the moves that they're making. So after king g6, knight d3 is what they're analyzing, but bishop f8 is a great move.
Will they find it in their analysis? Their analysis is amazing to watch, and it's incredible that after almost 6 hours of gameplay, the two players want to sit and go through this endgame. They have amazing, intense respect for each other. They've played each other several times. Also, Levon, yes, in his heart, he might be slightly disappointed. And there you have it, bishop f8, found by them.
But I see them looking at king f6, knight takes g4, king g5. And it looks like this would be good for black, but right there for a second, knight d7 check, king e7, they were looking at this as well. So many different variations that they are trying to assess properly. Chess is such a rich game here, and it looks like king g5 going up the board is the way to go. So instead of giving the g4 pawn, that's what the engine is spouting out as the best option. But as we see them looking at this position here, takes king g5. I think the knight went back into e5 here, and then a4. So this also is good for black.
Just incredible stuff. And I was going to say that, Levon, of course, had his opportunity, and he had the better hand throughout the game, starting from that dominating middle game. But Levon appreciates the beauty in chess. And I know that he's also appreciative of the defensive resources his opponent put out. And we see him there analyzing with a smile. It's also heartwarming to see that the players don't just get up, go back, switch on their engines and check the lines. Instead, they want to sit and calculate with each other.
Yeah, I would love to do that, but I'm told I have to have the engine on at all times. So, everyone is listening to me say that, but it is true, and it is fun to just calculate, and be free of our engine overlords. But they're looking at these lines with the knight coming back to d3, bishop e7 this time, knight e5 check, king to f6, knight takes g4, and then king g5, which looks accurately better for black. So whoever just suggested that between the two, this is I guess Levon doesn't like it for some reason. Or he's saying knight takes g4 is not right. So it is cool. I'm actually really enjoying this right now, seeing the two of them analyze this position.
This is an amazing moment after an endgame. That was such a massive fight, and it's truly a pleasure to see and get a peek into their minds while they were playing, the variations that they were looking at.
It looks like they eliminated that line, thinking it was good for black. So they're trying to find something else besides knight c5 and king g6. But if they do this analysis and Levon's like, I'm winning here, he's going to be even more upset about the missed opportunity.
And this was the moment when he didn't go king to g5 and instead made the move bishop to e1, which was a slight inaccuracy. This was the line that we had looked at, and he didn't find it during the game, but here they are looking at it afterwards. It's too little, too late, but what a fight.
Look at Levon. The way he's analyzing the position, I think he understands that this is a winning variation, and he has his head in his hands because he's upset that he didn't find it while the game was live. And they do have great respect for each other. You said that. It's certainly true. They played against one